Now welcome back to my channel. It's a new month, February in the house. Yay, and I'm making it. I'm pushing out some videos for you. Here we go. What is my hair doing? How is my hair doing? It is nicely twisted away, so I don't have to bother about detangling my hair. I just wash it, I condition it and leave it like this. If I'm feeling sick or something, I will use the hooded dryer to kind of get it, overly dry, but that's it. I'm doing the most, I'm doing the least. So here we go. This time, I just want to show more than just, cooking. For example, tapioca starch, thickening it up and then to slap it on my hair to show you, yeah, I can detangle my hair. I wanted something more. I wanted flax seeds because flax seeds are everywhere on YouTube. I think it's one of the first recipes usually people try out when they go natural, especially be it on the black natural hair side or be it on the white naturally curly side. At one point of this journey, people try out flaxseed gel if they are kind of mixtures in the kitchen, and this is what I did. I have tried out flaxseed gel recipes in the past, but I wasn't really successful because whenever I tried to do a wash and go with it, it defined my hair very well, but I kind of missed. It's hard to describe, but it didn't feel moisturized. It rather felt dry. I feel like cooking and making a gel out of natural plants or seeds is not enough. You need to add things, especially for example, you need things like glycerin to add more moisture. You need some oil because what are you protecting your hair with, especially when you don't use leave-ins, right? Once you wash your hair and you rinse that conditioner off, be it deep conditioners, be it rinse out conditioners, it's off your hair. Maybe a tiny little residue will be left on your hair, but putting on leave-ins makes sense. If you skip this step, of course, use a gel formulation that contains the oils, the emollients, so that it sticks to your hair, especially if there's no humectant ingredient inside. Now, let me walk you through one of my countless do-it-yourself product formulation failures and how by accident I came up with a much more better hair product actually. As you know, I'm obsessed with creating products that actually work on this type of hair, the so-called 4C hair. Yay! I said goodbye to 4C hair, but let's be honest, it's a global keyword. It is what it is and people need to find each other. I made several videos using tight curly, micro curls and coily hair as keywords, but whenever I do this, I notice significant drops in reach and engagement on social media. It totally makes a difference when you already own big influence and have a huge account and people know you and your hair journey for years. But if you're nowhere to this point, you need to do what you need to do. Make sure people will find you. Now, how on the name of 4C hair did I land from here to here? Yeah, it's a process. Since I'm learning everything my own and I haven't tried professional formulating classes yet, of course, it's gonna be lots of trial and error and mistakes, but yeah, here we are to learn. Why flax seeds? Flax seeds are cheap and super popular online. So what ingredients did I have in mind? Of course, flax seeds, cetyl alcohol, coconut oil, vitamin E, flaxseed extract, protein, a preservative, and of course water and some aloe vera juice. Why am I adding oil? I also wanted lubrication and a barrier that will protect my hair while cleansing it with shampoo. Why did I add coconut oil? Because it's one of my favorite oils, but if you don't like coconut oil, be inspired to use something else. But this video is not a tutorial, it's just to show the process I'm going through. Why did I add flaxseed extract? Just to make it extra nourishing, and I wanted to see how it will work on my hair. By the way, did you know that most of the commercial flaxseed gels out there contain zero cooked flax seeds? Yes, brands work with water, plant extracts and thickeners. Why? Because fresh flaxseed gel is hard to preserve and it loses stability very quick. It would require more than just cooked flax seeds, oils and additional thickeners. And why did I add cetyl alcohol? It's because it adds slip to conditioners. Yeah, but a conditioner is an emulsion made with oil and water. So here starts one of the biggest mistakes already. Because cetyl alcohol is not an emulsifier, and I thought it will add slip and bring the water and oil together without creating a cream, even though by this time I've read and researched a lot, but I still made this mistake. So let's continue. Okay, so here I'm starting with distilled water, adding my flax seeds. There are different kind of flax seeds. I used the golden ones, but there are also dark seeds, and you can buy or make your own flaxseed powder or shredded flax seeds, for example, for easier digestion if you add it to your meals. I set my timer and saw my gel thickening super fast. I was confused as hell, but at this point, I thought I would be able to extract the gel from the seed, even though most of the videos out there, they said something else. You have to wait. It takes time for the gel, for the mucilage to come out of the flax seeds. Now, watch and laugh. Stupid, right? Yes. Of course, I used too many seeds and the proportion of water was off. That's why these days, if I try out formulation recipes and I don't see everything listed in grams so that I can adjust the formulation myself, I don't try it out. Formulating something in spoons and cups don't work for me. I'm used to bake breads and cakes and everything in grams. So if I'm referring to things in grams in future videos, you know the reason. This brings me also to another point. Don't work in grams only, but also work with percentages. I learned this from Swift Crafty Monkey. If I try out a formulation, I make sure that everything including my preservatives will make 100%, which equals 100 grams. So for example, if I start with 70 grams of water, that's also 70% of liquid already. So I got 30% left to reach 100. This gives you the freedom to make adjustments, and if you want to start with bigger batches, you will only require to multiply your formulation. For example, if you want to make a cream that weighs 200 grams, you just multiply by 2. 300 grams would be triple the amount of your original formulation. Also, when you do a formulation, make sure to write down exactly what would be considered watery ingredients and what would be considered oily and fatty ingredients. To go back to my original example, if you start with a sample batch of 100 grams and you already used 70 grams of water, you need to know how much oil, butters, fats, essential oils and emulsifiers you want to add. Because if you wanted to add plant gels, plant extracts, plant powders and plant waters and preservatives, for example, these are watery ingredients. They increase the water percentages. So you wouldn't be able to just add 25 grams of oils and butters and 5 grams of emulsifier to reach your 100 gram. You would actually need to adjust the water by using less. So it's super important not to eyeball things, but to measure things down to the grams. Be very, very exact so that you don't end up with bad surprises. I didn't film myself, but now should I waste it and restart or use less flax seeds? I didn't have enough time to restart, so I just added more water. Then I set my timer again and looked at the temperature to see when the gel will form. Once I also saw the seeds sinking down the gel and I finally saw the gel thickening to my liking, I started extracting. Now, what's best to use? Yeah, is sieve. It gets the job done very, very fast, and you also won't burn your fingers or your hands. But this only is great if the gel is really hot. Once your gel is a bit more thicker or it cools more down and it gets thicker, it's actually harder to get it out of the sieve. So I had the glorious idea to use the French press again, but yeah, it did not work out how I wanted. Yeah, look, what is this? It's not liquid enough. And what frustrated me the most is that I only bought this French press for this exact tutorial because I saw some videos or many videos on YouTube actually, but it did not work out. So what did I use? Yes, you can see it. I used a nut milk bag. Now here you go. I'm pressing, extracting the gel out of the nut milk bag, and I'm burning my fingers and hands because this is too hot. So next time I have to buy a tool to help me not burn my fingers. Now here we go. This is a very large batch. I did not intend to do a lot of flaxseed gel, but here I'm putting the gel into a bigger beaker, and once I saw the gel dropping temperature, I added cetyl alcohol. Yes, a big mistake. Anyway, I didn't knew better, so I stirred it, and I then added coconut oil. I added aloe vera juice. Why didn't I add it earlier? It's because the bottle said not to heat it up to a certain temperature. So I thought, let me wait. This flaxseed gel is boiling hot. Then I will add the aloe vera gel or aloe vera juice. And as you can see, I'm stirring it, but the flaxseed gel lost the temperature. Cetyl alcohol didn't melt properly, so I had to heat this gel up again. And you remember, I wanted to avoid this because I just added aloe vera juice. So the gel did heat up again, cetyl alcohol did melt, and I thought, great, let me add my other ingredients. I waited for the cool down phase. What's the cool down phase? It's the phase you add all the heat sensitive ingredients. You don't want to spoil these expensive ingredients, so a thermometer is important. So here I'm adding, I think, glycerin and protein, flaxseed extract, and my preservative because I don't want this to spoil in 2 days. Here I'm bottling it up. At this point I'm super proud of myself because I didn't add any additional thickeners, and it gave me this slippery, liquid and gooey texture. And of course I am testing the pH. Now, same day came the crash. Once my flaxseed gel cooled down completely and had time to set and the hair wash was due, I noticed tiny white little dots. Alright, so at this point I was devastated because I couldn't figure out what I did wrong, but I felt these granules, these whitish points on my hands, and it wasn't dissolving very much. So I had to use hot water to rub it inside the palm of my hands with gel so that these whitish granules would dissolve. I knew I messed up. I have no video material because I didn't film that part, but I kind of figured out it was not the coconut oil, it was the cetyl alcohol. I actually needed a solubilizer to prevent the oil from separating and to keep the gel clear to not create a whitish cream consistency. So this is what I did actually. I scrolled through YouTube University and stumbled upon flaxseed gel creams. I got inspired by Yaya Do-It-Yourself Creations. So instead of trying to make a new batch, I went to make a cream. To not waste this entire batch of flaxseed gel gone wrong, I took the risk and made a big batch. I know I should have just used a small amount of the gel and made my 100 grams to test things out, to have a sample, but I just went into it 100%. But this time I made sure to use enough emulsifiers. Since this flaxseed gel contains lots of water, I didn't add more. I just made sure to heat it up properly and also melted my emulsifier. Fatty alcohols like cetyl alcohol again, shea butter, cocoa butter and more coconut oil. When I'm at the right temperature and my oil phase, so the butters, all the solid oily ingredients that need to be melted down first, I started adding the oils to the gel and started emulsifying. I was terrified but also excited at the same time because nothing separated and it was my first tryout. It's kind of like this joy you feel when you tried a new baking or sweet dessert recipe and it looks exactly the way it should when it comes out of the oven. At this point, the cream smelled and looked like a very whitish vanilla cream. Since I used lots of cocoa butter for stability, the cream had this sweet and heavy chocolate scent. I then weighed down all the ingredients that needed to go to the cool down phase of ingredients that didn't need to be heated up. I know you're curious to know what's inside, so what did I add? I, for example, added glycerin, prakashi oil, I added panthenol, I added amla oil, I added proteins, and I also added buriti oil for this yellowish, vanilla looking custard cream, ice cream. You know what I mean. Yes, this creamy, rich, velvety egg custard. I also added more flaxseed extract and essential oils and preservatives. And boom, here you go. You can't smell it, but trust me, it smelled so good. The consistency is thick and creamy. You have a slip. Just watch. So how did it work on my hair? First of all, my hair and scalp was oiled with a mixture of prakashi and coconut oil. I then used a spray bottle with distilled water. Yes, I'm not using bottled water anymore. I just use distilled water because when you get to read and learn things about formulating, you just buy distilled water and don't waste your bottled drinking water. I worked in sections and sprayed my hair damp, then added a generous amount of a flaxseed cream, finger detangled, and then used a detangling brush. Yeah, you can say whatever you want, but I've been using Denman brushes for over a decade and I keep using them along my other detangling brushes. At the moment, my favorite brush, for example, is Denman D38 paddle brush. So as you can see, if I have the time and I have everything on hand and it's about to be the hair wash, I always prefer to detangle my hair before shampoo, so it's done and I just only need to focus on the conditioning part after shampoo. If you wonder how my hair was styled before, I think it was probably styled into a wash and go because my hair is very defined and it's just twisted up because I did this oil pre-poo.
I My, oh my, my, oh my, a kiss, and so I did.
So here we go, I'm done. I was happy and was probably about to use a shampoo bar. So I hope you got inspired. If you've wondered, you could turn flaxseed gels, aloe vera gels, or other gels made out of plants that create lots of mucilage into a creamy goodness. Yes, you can, but it will also probably require experimenting for stability if you don't want to just work with plant extracts and thickeners. There aren't many YouTube tutorials out there that go into this direction, so it's always a lot of experimenting and trying things out. This is why I can't just provide you with exact measurements, because yeah, this is still a process. So thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Bye.